Hello, shooters. My name is James Towle, and welcome to Trigger Sports TV. It's nighttime in Conroe, Texas, and we're at the Thunder Gun Club. Steve Vandermolen called me, and he said that we are going to have a strong hand, weak hand malfunction class. And I told him, I said, well, Steve, let me think about that for a little bit. And I did. I became more intrigued by it all the time.
Hi, my name is Steve Vandermolen. We're at Thunder Gun Range in Conroe, Texas, which is about 40 miles north of Houston. We're at one of the biggest ranges, outdoor ranges in the area, and we're here to talk tonight about Thunder Shooters Club. We've got over 300 members right now. We're running classes twice a week. Our weekends are full. Our classes are running 25 to 30 people in a class. We're having a great time.
If I was in a situation where I might be shot in the right arm, which happens to be my strong arm, I'm pretty much out of the fight.
What we wanted to focus on for Thunder Shooters Club is self-defense for normal people, for people that are just mom and pop, working people, people who'd never get the opportunity to do this kind of stuff. Do it in an environment that makes them feel comfortable.
Suppose I had my wife with me. Suppose I had friends with me. Suppose they were depending upon me to protect them. I called Steve back and I said, we're coming out.
We have CEOs of companies that come out and are part of this group. We have people who are blue-collar workers that are part of this thing, and we run the whole gamut in between. And we even have some of the high-speed, low-drag guys that come out here and just have a great time being part of this group and learning these skills. We've got three major goals when we do the classes. The first thing is we're going to run everything safely. Second is we're going to get good instruction. It's going to be instruction that teaches the skill in a very appropriate way and in a very structured way. And the third thing is we want everybody to have fun when they come out here. We want it to be a place where people can come out, have a good time, laugh, become part of a shooting family where they're picking up good skills, they're learning to shoot safely in a dynamic environment, and they're spending time with other shooters perfecting those skills. Talking about strong hand, weak hand shooting. We're going to go over the principles around strong hand, weak hand shooting. We're going to talk about what circumstances might lead you to have to shoot one-handed. And then we are going to do a lot of one-handed shooting tonight, both strong hand and support hand. Once we get all that done, I suspect we'll have about 20 minutes left. We'll spend a little bit of time on malfunctions and talk about recognizing and clearing malfunctions. So as usual, safety is always going to be our priority. We will not get anybody injured in training. It's just not going to happen on our ranges.
And licensing. Visit our online database, The Hunting Report. No serious hunter should be without it. Subscribe today at huntingreport.com or call 800-272-5656.
Available to you 24/7 on your computer when you want to see it.
Tonight's class is going to be focusing on strong hand shooting, weak hand shooting, or support hand shooting, and handling malfunctions. The goal is tonight to bring a group of people in here and in 2 hours introduce them to the concepts. Fire!
Yeah, you know, shooters, most of the competitions we go to are by competitors who have had a lot of experience, who travel around the country, shoot with some of the best shooters in the country and maybe in the world. And when we come out and we're actually looking at a shoot like this, it's made up primarily your neighbors, your friends, people who feel the need to know how to handle themselves in a situation that may force them to use their left hand, or they have a malfunction.
My instructing background, I've had a lifelong passion for firearms. Have been shooting over 40 years. Shot in the military, obviously. I'm an NRA certified instructor. I'm an NRA certified law enforcement instructor. I'm certified by Texas Department of Public Safety for Private Security Bureau to teach security officers and protection officers firearms. And I've just got a passion for doing it, and I've been exercising that passion here. Has anyone ever experienced drawing your gun with your weak hand? A couple of you. It's not an easy thing to do. It is tough. I pray you never are in a situation where you have to do that, because you're in deep trouble. There are two ways to do it. One is you reach around behind you. The more robust we get as we age, the tougher this becomes.
That's not going to work.
You reach around behind you, get the best grip you can get on that gun, pull it up, keep the muzzle down so you don't sweep yourself or anybody else, bring it into your weak side, and then you can cut. Notice I've switched to a red gun. Bring your gun up and you can do it that way. That's one way. The other way is, and again, the more robust you get, the harder this is going to be. You reach over with your weak hand in front, pull the gun out, rotate it, reinsert it into your holster so you've got it in the right position. Then I can come out with it. So use my holster as that holding point while I rotate the gun around. That works too. The reason this is a good position is, what if you have a disabled strong hand and have to reload, and your gun is locked back? How are you going to reload it? That's probably doable if that's all you got. Or that, as long as I know the slide's locked back. Those we're not going to practice tonight, by the way. Or I can insert it back into the holster, hold it there, get on it, and reload it that way. Drop the slide and go.
And, you know, when you contacted me, I said, hey, why not? Let's go out there and see who goes out at night.
A lot of the people that we have regular jobs. And so it's good to get them out here. It's good to have classes in the evening, and they gives them an opportunity to shoot when they would never have an opportunity during the week otherwise.
Okay, so I think we've established the fact that these are your neighbors. These are friends. These are civilians. They're probably not law enforcement. They're probably not military. They have come out to learn to do this because they wanted to.
Absolutely. There's a lot of desire out there and a lot of need out there for training for just good, practical, common sense training, and we seem to have found a niche here, and we're filling it up. We're having a great time with it. Fire!
Okay, I think I'm sitting here with some of the best shots I've seen tonight. Now, tell me about the difference between your left hand and your right hand, because your groups don't show a lot of difference. I mean, you might be a little lower, but you've got a good group there. What's your name?
My name's Aaron.
Where are you from, Aaron?
Kingwood.
Kingwood.
Yeah, just up on the north side here in Houston.
Yeah, okay. Now, this is not the first time.
No, it's not the first time I've shot with my weak hand.
Okay. Now, you don't see any difference between your left and right hand, right?
The center of the grip did come down a little bit lower and to the right. I might be pushing a little bit with my trigger finger. but also my grip between my strong hand and my support hand are a little bit different on the gun.
Yeah. Okay, well, there should be some difference, but there's very little in your group, and I'm really nice to see. What do you do in real life?
I'm an airline pilot.
You have are you the gun on the airlines?
No.
You're not. Well, you should be the gun on the airlines.
Oh, thank you.
Let me talk to this man right here. Tell us your name, sir.
Anthony Buston.
Anthony, now, what did you find different between your right hand and your left?
I tend to shoot a little higher shooting with my weak hand than I do with my strong hand. And I think that's probably because I'm shading my sight just a little higher. But pretty much the same as long as you control your trigger squeeze.
Okay, you didn't change your stance. You weren't any more or less aggressive.
I tend to shoot a pretty aggressive stance either way, so not really, no.
Yeah, okay, because I have been watching you, and you have an aggressive stance, more aggressive than some of the other folks. And I'm just looking at your target. But, nobody out here shooting tonight, if these were bad guys, everybody died.
That's the intent.
Good. Thanks for talking to us. Where are you from?
Right here in Conroe.
In Conroe. What do you do in real life?
I'm a security contractor.
Okay, security contractor. So there's a good reason for you to be here tonight.
Yes, sir.
What's your gun?
Glock 17.
Glock 17. Happy with that?
Yes, sir, I'm happy with it.
You call that your duty weapon?
It is my duty weapon.
Okay, very good. I'm going to let you go back. Shooters, don't go away.
Hi, it's Mark Walters, host of Armed American Radio. Every week I dish out hard-hitting talk about the defense of our Second Amendment, your right to carry a firearm for self-defense, the politics of guns, and more. If you're even considering carrying a gun for self-defense, make sure to join me, Mark Walters, every week for Armed American Radio. For more information on where and when to listen in your area, visit armedamericanradio.com. I'm Mark Walters, and I'll see you on the radio.
Tell me why you decided that you'd take this class.
To better my skills at strong hand, weak hand shooting, I've kind of done an opposite, is that I've been IDPA shooting with Steve for the last 4 years.
Oh, okay.
And the club started, and I joined Steve and coming into the club, and he's a very, very good shooter, and I want to try to get some of that expertise from him to improve my shooting skills. Also for the fact I can't have my wife out shoot me.
Yeah. Well, we can all sort of understand that. We'll leave that in. You didn't say edit that out, right?
I didn't say to edit it out. I'm proud to say she is a very good shooter, and I come out here and improve my skills.
Okay, very good.
Shooting one-handed strong hand is fairly easy. What we're going to do next is a lot more of a challenge because, quite frankly, most of you have an ignorant finger on your support hand. It has never practiced pulling a trigger on a gun. So we're going to have to do some teaching tonight and teaching it how to pull the trigger, and it's exactly the same way you do with your strong hand. Touch it, prep the trigger, and then press through the brake. Exactly the same thing, but you're going to have to take your time tonight and be very careful as we do as we go forward. So we're going to put you on the line. We're going to start shooting weak hand, but we're going to take it a little bit slower, especially when we get to the draw, because that's really where it's going to be a challenge. And we'll do that tonight. So, any questions before we do it weak hand? Generally, the process is still the same. The gun comes up in front of your face. If you can it a little bit or keep it straight and get it in front of your dominant eye. Prep the trigger like you would with your other hand, touch, and then press through it, getting perfect sight alignment, perfect sight picture. Your tendency is going to be to try to overgrip it again because you're shooting it one-handed. You really don't need to. Relax on that gun, treat it gently, touch the trigger, touch the trigger and prep it, confirm your front sight and press through the shot. Everybody good to go? Last time. Stand by. Fire.
Okay, is anybody having any difficulty shooting left-handed? Anybody want to register any formal complaints? This would be the time.
First say it's definitely harder than shooting right-handed.
Okay. Do you see a difference in pattern?
You know, I think my left arm and wrist is not as strong as my right hand. So when I pick up the gun, it just feels awkward and like I'm having a little bit more difficulty controlling it. And I think a lot of it just has to do with I have less strength in this hand than I do in this hand.
Okay. Have you done this before?
Yes.
You have. Okay, so you've done this kind of training before. You're just getting better at it.
I'd like to think I'm getting better at it. Yes, exactly.
Okay, we'll get out and check your targets in a minute and tell you.
Okay, I appreciate that. Okay.
How about you, sir?
That's
What's
awesome.
your name? Where are you from?
Well, I'm Mark DeFord, and I'm from the Woodlands here.
Okay.
And I'll say my biggest challenge left-handed I'm finding tonight is I want to go left-eye dominant when I switch to that side.
See, that's a good point. No one said that.
Right. So Steve also teaches a cover and concealment class, and I noticed when I was taking that class that as I peek around a corner to the left side, I tend to want to switch to the left eye. So my main plan is to work on getting that sight picture with my right eye and sticking with what I train to do instead of letting it switch.
All right. What do you do in real life?
I'm actually a computer engineer for Hewlett-Packard here in town.
Okay, so you're just out here having fun and getting better at what you enjoy doing.
Absolutely, I love it. I've only been handgunning for about 2 years now, and I'm actually club member number 43. I came here one day and I trained, and I said, this is where I need to be. And you definitely get some opportunities to shoot and train here at the range with Steve that you can't do at any other public range. You're in a cubicle, they don't want you drawing, they don't want you trying to reload or any of the other stuff. So we can do the carbines here, we do shotguns, and I love it. It's very enjoyable.
What's the single largest cause of malfunctions to a handgun shooter? How about forgetting to take the safety off? You think, how many have ever forgotten to take the safety off on their gun? Is that a malfunction? Something's gone wrong that you got to fix and get back in the game, right? Beyond that, beyond the things we do to ourselves, it's really some interruption in the feeding of ammunition, either due to a failure of the gun or a failure of the ammunition, or, as we will see, a failure of us to do something right. And it really boils down to, for simplicity's sake, there are two types of malfunction, two ways to clear it. If you pull that gun up and it doesn't go bang, and you've checked your safety, which is the first thing you need to do, tap the magazine to make sure it's inserted properly, rack the slide to either get the crappy round out of there or get one into the chamber, confirm your front sight, and press the trigger. That's a type 1 malfunction. If that doesn't work, you probably have a type 2 malfunction, which would be a double feed. At that point, you're hosed anyway. Lock the slide to the rear, rip the magazine out and throw it away because it could be a problem with the magazine. Get a new magazine out, put it in the gun, rack the slide, and try it again. Those are going to be your two major ways to do it. Beyond that, you're not going to have time to do much beyond that in a defensive situation. To rack it, if it's pointed up like this, you can't get on that gun well. If it's pointed like this, you can't get on it. Get it neutral right here in front of you so you can do your real good rip on it. So tap, rack, boom. Stand by, fire. Didn't work.
Hi, it's Mark Walters, host of Armed American Radio. Every week I dish out hard-hitting talk about the defense of our Second Amendment, your right to carry a firearm for self-defense, the politics of guns, and more. If you're even considering carrying a gun for self-defense, make sure to join me, Mark Walters, every week for Armed American Radio. For more information on where and when to listen in your area, visit armedamericanradio.com. I'm Mark Walters, and I'll see you on the radio.
I'm Steve Vandermolen at Thunder Gun Range in Conroe, Texas, and you're watching American Trigger Sports TV.
Tell me why you chose to come to this class tonight.
I think everybody needs to learn how to, use a gun. It doesn't hurt. I don't own one right now, but that's what I'm doing here is trying to figure out what kind I'd like to have.
Okay, so you are
personal protection.
Personal protection. You are a concealed carry permit, right?
No, I do not.
You don't. You plan on doing that?
I don't know at this point.
Okay. What's the decision point?
I guess when I get a gun, I'll decide.
Okay. So whose are you using tonight?
One of Steve or Donna's.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it is a. You don't have to take it out.
You would have to ask me that.
Oh. Well, you're doing well with it.
9mm something.
You're doing well with it, and it's always. I always find it interesting that some of the females come out, some ladies come out, and they like to get involved with it. Does your husband shoot?
No, I'm not married.
You're not married, so you're doing this all by yourself?
Yeah. Yes.
And is it fun?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have a good time.
Okay, very good. Well, we're going to watch you shoot.
Fire!
Shooters, I can't think of a better way to spend a Saturday night than to come out to the range with your friends. Just come out, shoot some rounds off, enjoy one another's company, and become a better shooter.
First off, thank you all for a very safe evening. That really makes a difference. And it never ceases me to be impressed with the quality of gun handling of the group that we have around here. Thank you all very much for that, number one. There are people that'll tell you some of the stuff we're doing you can't do with just regular shooters, and I prove them wrong every time we have a class. So you guys did a great job. Number two is you got to do some stuff we don't normally get to do. You got to shoot with one hand, and you got to experience in reasonably pleasant circumstances the unfortunate happenings of a malfunction. I don't ever want you to get one, but if you do, at least we've practiced it. Thank you all for tonight.
Hey, shooters, this was a pretty interesting class. One of those things, like I said earlier, that you don't normally have the opportunity of practicing. We saw a lot of techniques tonight. We saw a lot of good shooters. I'm going to the range tomorrow, and I'm going to practice a little bit of this myself. I hope you do too. I'll see you again next week.
Thank you.